Hey guys, I'm Shirshadai. I am bringing you a replay review request from Reddit by Handsaway. We're going to look at some of the things he does that's actually giving him a little bit of an issue versus Terran in the mid and late game. So I'm not sure how he plays this normally, but what we're going to see in this game is a very delayed second gas, and that's going to delay tech by quite a bit. So, under normal circumstances, Whip Gate would have started sooner. Your gateways would come down a little bit later, like actually right about now. And you would already have your tech structure down. Like you have only 100 gas right now, so you can just throw down your tech. If you take this gas when you're supposed to, you should be able to drop a robotics or a twilight about 40 seconds earlier, so you have access to faster stuff. One other thing is this Nexus is still rallied to the minerals, and it's going to stay that way for quite a while. So you're not really utilizing the probes you're building here in the natural where they can actually mine. The next thing is, this is the only tech you throw down for quite a while. So you're looking for either a robotic support bay or a Twilight Council as a follow-up, because tech is a very important thing to have versus Terran. You weren't able to get any scouts because the closed off wall earlier, but you didn't actually look for that. Your probe just kind of sits here and says, where's the natural base? Which you do's fine now. And you have a decent army at home. Your probe production is not terrible. 39 probes at 455, though, is a little bit lacking. You have missed a little bit of production, but the really big issue right now is all these probes that can't mine. So by sending those to the natural, going ahead and getting your natural gases, you can get your tech rolling, because right now your gas income is very minimal. So you're getting a second robotics facility to double pump immortals, and you're building stalkers. So in a normal timing attack, like around 6.5 minutes or 7 minutes, this is actually a pretty strong army comp. Getting an immortal and a whip prism at the same time. We built in a whip in an observer to send across the map to scout, which is good. Whip prism is going to pop fairly shortly. You're building some extra gates, so you're basically looking to do a 2-base timing attack without upgrades. So this is actually pretty strong. You kill some units here. You're going to have to go through a few more units here before you can actually get to the other side of the map. You don't really know about it yet, but you whip in a few more units, and there you go. Finally starting to move across the map. The downside is this drop's hitting your main base, and you just pulled your army back to go back home because your mothership core is not hotkeyed. It's full energy that you built it, you didn't hotkey it, so you don't know you actually have it. So instead of bringing your entire army home, you could just overcharge like 4 pylons, or 2 or 3, or however many you want to overcharge, and push this army back while you continue to attack with this army. Basically, this army, in its current state, loses value the longer you have it, because Stalkers without Blink are very bad, and even with Blink, they're not the greatest versus Bio. You'll ultimately need splash damage and good upgrades, and then something to tank for them. So like Stalkers for anti-air, some Immortals for ground damage, and then you'd either have Adepts or Charge Slots to buffer and deal damage as well. Stalkers don't have very good DPS, but Adepts and Zealots with Charge both do. So getting your upgrades from a Twilight Council are pretty important, as well as Forge upgrades. The problem we've got, though, is you don't have a Twilight or a Forge, and you're not going to have either one for a little bit. You're going to drop one Forge, you'll eventually have 1-1. You drop a Twilight and eventually have Charge. But the problem is you need them a lot sooner than you're getting them. At this point, you have enough money to throw down a Robotics Bay, 2 Forges, and the Twilight, and use them all at the same time, because you just have quite a bank right now. Your worker count is at 8 minutes, it's only at 50. The ideal situation in an ideal world, it'll be 60 probes at 6 minutes, but that requires you to be not cutting probes anywhere. That's just constant production without getting supply blocked. That is basically the best you can do versus Terran on a macro game. So it is definitely a high bar to set, but the closer you can get to it, the stronger your economy can be. And we're talking about potential economy. That basically assumes you're expanding on time. For instance, a 4th base versus Terran would normally come down around 8.5 to 9 minutes. Your 4th base would come down around 12. Excuse me, your 5th base at 12. 6th base at 15. Give or take. But what's going to happen is, the longer this game goes on, the worse this army is going to be. So he does a little bit of damage, kills some pylons, whatever, gets out. But this game is basically just going to be you continuing to attack into him, trying to find damage without upgrades. And by now, when you attack, there's 2 Widow Mines, and a Siege Tank, and Bio, with double upgrades, stem, and combat shields. Only 2 medevacs, but you're still going to lose your army. Your entire army right now consists of 1 Zealot, 3 Adepts, 4 Immortals, and 20 Stalkers without Blink, plus 2 Sentries. So, Force Fields, okay, Guardian Shields are amazing, but basically everything that Red Sea has is going to kill your Stalkers, because he has upgrades and you don't. So you can't even really micro them because you're going to lose your Warp Prism here with that mine hit, and you can't reinforce. So basically when you lose that Warp Prism, that should be your first cue to get out, but you just try to force the fight. He focus fires your sentries very well. He's just kind of sitting here taking damage, but you're going to lose most of your army here because he's just going to stem on top of you. He's taking a lot of damage, and he's being very smart to not fight outside the range of his siege tank because he knows he doesn't have very much army. He doesn't really have enough medevacs. He's only got 3 medevacs right now. Interestingly, spotting Widow Mines are good, though, because he actually saw your attack moving across the map the second time. After you went back and cleaned that up, he saw it again. He's now sending a new medevac across the map to harass while your army's sitting here. And now he's going to push you because his bio's basically all healed back up. You don't have any upgrades, and you don't have any sentries. So he's just going to push into you here. His whole army can't even fight here, but he's just going to stutter step a little bit and be able to focus fire your Immortals. He's doing a really good job with that. And so now he's just going to be, you see his army shift queued to attack all your stuff, and he's probably not even looking at your army. He's just going back and doing his own thing. He's looking at this drop over here, and he's getting a lot of damage done. He's denying a lot of mining time. And you eventually clean that up too, but you just lost your entire army at the front. So this is just going to be a common theme. You're going to keep attacking into him. You're going to keep throwing army away. You'll get to Colossus eventually, but then you attack before Extended Thermal Lance is done and lose 2 Colossus. Every other time you have Colossus, he's just going to stem on top of them because you don't have Adepts or Zealots to body block them. Adepts have short range. Zealots have contact range. So if you have charge lots fighting Bio, they can't actually stem into your Colossus because the Zealots physically won't let them. And they actually have to kite away from you to not just stand there and die to Zealots and Colossi. So you're going to take a really good fight simply because you have charge lots. I'm going to link a build in the description below as well. It's another video that I did, and I'm going to do a different video soon with a little bit better explanation of what I did there, but it'll tide you over for now. So that you have an idea of what this looks like from a very tech-focused perspective. Meanwhile, though, just focus on the very early game. Get your gas taken at the right time with your opener. Get your mothership core hotkeyed. Get your robotics facility more quickly. Get your robotics bay when you need it. Get your gases taking your natural. Move your probes when needed to your new bases. Expand a little bit faster after you take your third. And it's a lot to clean up, but it's definitely something you can do because you've got some good moves. You've got a killer instinct, and when we get some upgrades and tech behind it, it's going to do a lot as far as getting you ranked up, getting you farther ahead. I'm Shir Shaddai. Hope you enjoyed this video, and good luck and have fun.